Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday morning. It's 9 a.m., 9:02 a.m. Eastern here in the United States, and we're looking at Heathrow Airport in London, the UK, and I guess actually on the outskirts of London. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator in drone mode. We're right above the tower at Heathrow, and we're looking at what seems to be the most active runway this morning. I've got both live traffic turned on and the Microsoft traffic turned on. So it's kind of strange not seeing a lot of traffic from the live traffic, but enough to make it interesting. But anyway, the intention of today's stream is to answer any questions that people might have about FS Economy. My understanding is from looking at the forums on FS Economy's forum site. They've been inundated with requests for new accounts, a lot of password resets. I guess people that forgot their passwords that want to reinitialize their FS Economy activity because of the new release of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And when I was streaming yesterday, I got a lot of questions from people about FS Economy, so I thought I would open up a specific stream to talk specifically about FS Economy. If there's any questions that people have, go over a little bit about some of the tips that can help you get started faster and not waste money, and be able to build a net worth, if you will, a virtual net worth that'll help you play the game better. Obviously, it's a money game, and the more money you have in the game, the more you can build your wealth. So, but there's so many moving parts to it. I started actually getting involved with FS Economy. I would say probably about I guess about 3.5 years ago. When I started flying X-Plane 11 VR, I found out about FS Economy. I forget who I was watching. I think I was watching John fly, maybe. Can't remember. But it basically really caught my attention because it gives you a reason to fly, if you will, right? For lack of a better way to explain it, where you have, you're basically on you're on missions to transport passengers or cargo from point A to point B with the intention of gaining revenue that can help you build your net worth so that you can buy airplanes, you can buy FBOs, you can actually form there's actually companies in FS Economy that will lend you money, that will lease you planes. So there's a lot of that going on too. So I know that when you first start, it's a bit overwhelming and there's a lot to grasp, but it's really not that. It's a simple strategy, and that is to basically run profitable flights, right? You want to make sure that you're using planes that are profitable, both from a fuel perspective and from a passenger perspective, that can help you, get the most out of your time. And there's some little tricks. I guess there's two types of ways to approach it. I would break it down to two types of use cases, if you will. The first is the fun, casual person that wants to fly to point A to B, and it gives them a purpose to add some passengers. That's one. And the other person is, the other use case would be the grinder, who's trying to grind up as much money as they can so they can buy airports and they can buy planes, etc., etc. So today I'm gonna go over some of those things today to start the conversation, and I'm hoping that if you guys have any questions, just type them in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you want to go to my Discord, and put them in the chat there. I've got a AMA questions set up in my Discord if you want to check that out. But you can just type them in the chat here. I'd be happy to answer. So, oh, looks like we've got a plane taking off here. Just watch this for a second here. We can zoom in. See if I can zoom in here. That's pretty cool. We'll just watch this one. Not sure if that's a real world or if it's a it's probably a player, because that plane was sitting on the runway for quite some time. Mike, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So, guys, I will tell you that Mike here is the person who taught me about FS economy. I don't think I've met anyone who knows more about it than Mike. So I'm really happy that you're here. That's great. This is Heathrow. This is Heathrow. Yeah, I was just talking about that. I know that the admins are inundated with a lot of password resets. That's what I saw. Let me just show you. If you look on the here's the FS economy. If you look here on where we go, go here. If we look on the forum, you can see there's a. They're saying that they're inundated with new password requests. So obviously, people that haven't used it in quite some time that are. Oh, there's an airplane taking a nice jet taking off right there. Check it out. People that haven't used it in quite some time and are interested in getting back into it. So that's great to see, because I got to be honest with you, I think it was kind of like dying down a little bit there. At least it seemed like it was. But yeah, as I was saying, I met Mike online probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and he helped me understand a lot about how FBOs work. The right way, even though I was persistently trying to create FBO networks the way I wanted to, he kept telling me the way to do it, and I had to learn the hard way that he was absolutely right in how to set up FBOs networks. So there is some really interesting tips that can help you. You know, that's awesome, man. That's great, Mike. That's fantastic. I didn't know that you were. I didn't know that you got involved with administrating the game. That's good. Is that something recent? Just curious. Yeah, 3 or 4 a day. Now you're getting 60. That's great. Let's hope 10% of those folks stay with it. That would be awesome. You know. So, the world. How you doing? I just noticed your name there. Thanks for joining. You guys, you were in the stream the other day. I hope if you have any questions about FS economy, now's the time to ask them. It's a process. Yeah. So anyway, so let's go over it a little bit. So I'm actually working on a video that I'm going to be producing. I've got the script written already. It's basically 10 tips to help you get started with FS economy. And I'll go through some of those things today, okay, that are really, really important when you first start. Give me 1 second here. I just got to take care of one thing here. You failed at your first attempt at an FBO. Any tips for a GA flyer? So when you say you failed at your first attempt, help me understand exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean you bought an FBO and it didn't make any money? Is that what you mean? or we're waiting for take 6. Thanks for joining take 6, by the way. Pardon me. I will tell you that any question that you have about FS economy can usually be answered in the operations guide. This is a really, really, really detailed guide developed over the last, I don't know, 15 years that this thing has been going on. It's been around for a long time, okay? It's got its shortcomings, and we can talk a little bit about some of those things that can be frustrating about FS economy. But one thing you have to remember is it's free, right? I think every 2 years or so they ask for donations, which if you're a user, you should definitely donate, because these guys, they put a lot of time into keeping this community going, and it's out of a love for the community. Picked up a small strip from an auction, ended up losing it a few months later because it lacked supplies. Okay, so you know how to, it's because you weren't able to supply it, because that's a real simple thing. So let's go into, let me go here. So first of all, when you buy an FBO, it's really tempting, unless it's one that's like near your house, or an FBO that you're enamored with. Okay, I would caution you to just go out and buy an FBO, because you want FBOs that are active. So let me just show you something. If I go to an FBO, one of the FBOs that VR Aviation owns, okay. Oh, sorry. Go to here, VR Aviation East. All right, so if we go to Cape May, all right? In Cape May, all you have to do to resupply is go down to the bottom here, okay, and hit buy, and you can choose how you want to pay for it, okay? All right? So basically, all you got to do is you go to buy, okay, and then you can actually get a quote on, let's say, 1,200 kilograms of supplies, okay, and it'll tell you it's $8,100, and then you just go here and you buy your goods. It used to be that you actually had to fly your supplies to the plane, to the FBOs, which Mike can tell you it was a great business. Mike had a cargo business in FS economy that he used to make money resupplying FBOs. When they did that, it took away a big revenue stream from them. But basically, it's super easy now to supply them, and if you can only afford 30 days of supplies, you buy 30 days at a time. You were trying to get your foot in the door, but the FBO seemed to just lose money. Yeah. So basically, as I was saying, when you buy an FBO, the thing you really need to look at, okay, is traffic, okay, average traffic, or average operations, okay. So like let's say I wanted to buy 33N, okay. Well, 33N, if I look at 33N, it tells me that, hold on one second, guys. Okay, so this basically tells me exactly what the operations were, which means basically flights for the last 12 months, okay? So I could say, if someone was going to look at, if someone's looking, this was for sale, 33N was for sale, I would say this is a reasonable FBO to purchase, okay? Now, it can be deceiving, because the reason why this one is active is because it's connected to Cape May, all right? And Cape May is owned by a group, which is our group, VR Aviation, okay? And it gets a lot of activity because we've got group members that fly back and forth, okay? So let's take another example. So it can be a little deceiving. So let's take another example. Let's go to the Purchase FBO page, and we're going to look in the United States, okay? We're going to go down to the United States, and we're going to pick an FBO a bargain FBO. Okay. Now, first of all, I'd be very cautious about buying a one-lot FBO because it just doesn't produce enough jobs, unless you really like the area, and you've got a lot of 3-lot FBOs. Okay, these are very difficult because it just doesn't produce enough jobs, in my humble opinion. But let's say we wanted to buy Pendleton, New York. Okay, so there's Pendleton, New York. It's going to be $130,000. It's got some little bit of fuel, little bit of fuel, and it's got very few supplies. Okay, so I can actually, let's go to where is it? Pendleton, New York. Okay. Now you can see here. Okay, it's got an average of 3 flights. Okay, looks like in December someone flew a lot there, but basically gets 3 flights a month, or okay, around 3 flights a month. Okay, so now why does it have 3 flights a month? And we'll see. I don't. Well, let's see where these let's see where flights are what flights are originating, or where they're originating from to go to this FBO. Excuse me, I'm trying to figure out a way to say that. So one is definitely D82. Okay, but I can go down here to show assignments to airport. Okay, and it's going to show that we really don't have a lot of. We only have D82 flying to this airport. So Core, and that's owned by Core Air, and D82 is owned by somebody else. So this I would expect that if you purchase this FBO, unless you're connecting it to your own network, it's a standalone FBO is going to be very difficult. Yeah, as Mike said, get into a group, okay, and you'll get, if you get into a group, join VR Aviation Take 6. Okay, we've got a great group, we've got a great network. There's a lot of people there that can help you understand, questions. We've got a Discord where you can ask questions. Okay, Mike, I'm sure Mike belongs to another group too, or whatever. Mike is actually part of our group. So there's a lot of knowledge that you can gain there. But buying a standalone FBO is just, unless it's something, one that you really like it's near your town, or it's in your town, or whatever, or you actually fly out of there in real life, don't expect it to just magically make money. It's got to be connected to a decent network for it to make money, right? So, for example, here's an airport that, if you were able to buy it, okay, could make you a lot of money, right? LaGuardia. LaGuardia is one of the most active airports in FS economy, okay? You can see LaGuardia averages 737 operations a month, okay? In April, they had 1,000 operations. Okay, now it usually tails off in the summer. People are outside doing other stuff. It's higher, and usually higher in the winter months. But LGA is definitely a huge airport. Okay. All right, Mike. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to check on Mike's Discord, just he can certainly help you. Like I said, Mike taught me a lot of what I've learned. So, and I appreciate that. He helped me get started in it. But anyway, so that's there's a lot to FBOs, okay? And when you're thinking about it's basically a grind. FBO ownership is a grind, okay? When I say it's a grind, is you want to have a strategy when you're going to get into FBOs. You want to say, okay, like I'll tell you how what I did before I started working with. No, go ahead, Mike. What's the name of it? Because you won't be able to do it. What's the URL? Well, you can't. Do me a favor. Just what's the name of your group? Just type the name of your group, because you won't be able to. Let me see if I can allow you to share I can't easily allow you to share a link here in YouTube. So just what's the name of your group, and they can find you on FS Economy, because unfortunately you can't share a group. So basically, yeah. So have a strategy, all right, and that strategy may develop over time. you know. So like, first I wanted to own an FBO that I thought was really cool because it was near my house, and I used to go there and watch the planes fly out of there and stuff. So that was like interesting, and that made no money. Okay, so then I started thinking about making money in the FS economy, and I said, okay, well, to make money, you really need to own 3-lot airports, right? And you have to connect them with 2-lot airports, or you connect them together with other 3-lot airports, right? You just put all 3 names in there, no problem. Just type them in there. People, you can go to this. I'll show you how to do it. What you do is just go to groups, all groups. Takes a little bit of time to load here. A lot of people, I think, are using this server, and you can see all the groups are listed here. Quick way to do it would be go to Google and do a find, okay, and then type VR Aviation. There's our group, okay. There's no join here because I'm part of the group, okay. We pay 60% pilot share, and we've got a lot of aircrafts and stuff. So if you wanted to join VR Aviation, just go group, all groups, type in VR Aviation in the find, and you'll find it there. There's Mike's group, Mike's 3 groups if you want to check those out. Crosspointer is like Crosspoint Cargo, and Air, I think, like is operations, and then I guess Montana is casual. If you want to explain that, Mike, that's fine. So so back to FBOs. So basically, have a strategy, right? If you're starting off, I wouldn't even monkey around with FBOs. I would just get involved with a group, okay, and start flying for the group. The planes won't cost you anything because when you join a group, okay, any plane, like for example, if you look at VR Aviation, we've got a bunch of planes, okay? Bunch of planes. If you rent, and we've got rent on some of them because they make extra money for the group, okay? But if you were to go to Roanoke, okay, as a member of VR Aviation, okay, and rent this DA62, the Diamond DA62, it's not going to cost you anything, okay? The group is going to pay for the rent. The group is going to pay for the gas, okay? And what happens is whatever, I'll show you, if we go to a log here for VR Aviation, okay, and here's a flight that Quixote flew in the PC-12, I guess it was yesterday, so we'll take a look at that, all right? You can see it was $9,200, $9,270 in total income, okay? Cost of the rental, 0, group paid it, okay? Ground fees and stuff, group pays all that, okay? So if you calculate 60% off this number, that's what the pilot gets paid. So the group is paying all of these fees, all right? So it's a really cool way. Now, some groups have lower percentages. Some, only pay 10%, not quite 10%, but I think the lowest you'll see is about 40% pilot fee. They're usually just starting out, but when you get to a group that's got some money, then you can, you'll start to see like, 50, 60, even higher. We keep it at 60 because we kind of fell off in membership, and we need to generate a certain amount of money to keep the supplies up. But you can see here that when you fly for a group, you don't pay for any of this stuff. Okay, so just a quick calculation. Where's the calculator? So if we go, hopefully I'm right here. If we go 9270 times 0.6, 50, so basically 5562, right off the top, okay? So all those fees and stuff are paid by the group, which is a great advantage of joining a group, okay? Plus, you'll get to learn, meet people, etc., etc. Grow with the group, have a share in the group, okay? It's a great way to start, all right? But let's talk about, so that's kind of groups and stuff. Guys, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them for you, okay? So that's basically groups. Get in a group, join VR Aviation if you like. Let me see if I'll show you. I'll share our website here. we actually have a website too with a report that Mike actually created for us. So if you could check it out there, there's our website. This is the VR Aviation website. Now we don't have the Challenger anymore, but you can see this is our network. Okay, if we take a look at here, we've got we got main FBOs at Cape May and at Roanoke, and we've got all these places to fly as part of our network. All right, so check that out, but you have to go to FS Economy to actually join the group. Okay. Oh, cool. Let me get that. Thank you. All right, this is Mike's website if you want to check out his groups. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's talk about renting planes. Usually the first question people have, right, when they start with FS Economy, renting planes, right? All right, so the main thing to remember is the main thing to remember is you want to start. Let's go back to oh, sorry, let's go to back to here. Okay, the main thing to remember when you rent a plane, awesome, take 6, join the group. If you join the group, I can approve you right while we're streaming here. How does aircraft supply work? There's so many people joining. Aircraft supply. Well, again, this is an advantage of joining a group. Okay, if you join VR Aviation, I'm actually, now that we're getting more people in the group, I'll probably make some of our planes private without rent, which means only group members can rent them. Okay, so I'm probably going to be doing that because it's an advantage. When you join a group that has planes that have no rent, let me just see if we've got one in our so for example, these Pipers here, okay? If you were to rent one of these Pipers, okay, only group members can rent that plane. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change these. I'm going to go into edit here, and I'm going to make our SR72s, 170 SR, C172s group only. Okay. Because that's probably what people are going to fly first. So if you joined our group and you went to Roanoke and you rented the where is it? If you went to Roanoke and you rented the Skyhawk, tail number 223 Victor Romeo, okay, now you will not pay a dime, and only group members can rent them. All right. How do brand new planes get put into the system for use by people? Actually, you have to go to, if you go to the forum, it's not an easy process. There's the FS Economy folks have a whole process on how to do that, okay? If you go to the forum here, okay, index, there is a thing, an area for suggesting new airplanes. Let me just see here. Client topics. I forget where it is. Feature requests? No. Yeah, Mike, I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a spot here where you can just add requests. FSC aircraft, I think. Let's see what that says here. Man, this thing is so slow. Aircraft mapping requests. Okay. So basically, what you can do, and it takes, you can request a specific plane. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. You can request planes here. Oh. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, I got your question. All right, sorry. So basically, what you do is, yeah. So basically, gotcha. So I was talking about, like, if the airframe doesn't exist and you want to suggest it, it's got to go through a whole process. It's got to have like there's a whole criteria for them to accept a new plane. Okay. Remember we went through, I think it was the Cirrus Vision Jet. There was took a while for that to be. We had to go through the whole process to get that approved. So basically, if you look at aircraft, VR aviation, let's go to like the SR-22 here. Okay. For sale. Okay. You can see here, let me see if I can find one. Well, that's probably not a good example. DA. All right, this is probably... Yeah, so what happens is, I'm not sure of the algorithm, but I believe that the system looks at the amount of planes that are in the system, okay? And every once in a while, well, here's what happens. Part of it is, when airplanes go dormant, okay, and no one pays the fees on them, because when you own a plane, you got to pay fees on them, okay? So if you like go to, let me just show you. If I go to here, okay, and this plane, like this 172, okay, costs $1,100 a month that you got to pay to keep that plane. What happens is people buy a plane, they stop playing the game, and after a number of months or whatever, they never pay it off, and it goes dormant, it goes into debt, and then it dies. Okay, and what happens? I think the bank takes it over. Okay, and then they resubmit it back into the game at a price. Okay, and that's basically how planes would get circulated back in the game. Also, if it's a new plane, like I'm trying to think of a plane that was new. There was a plane I was involved. I can't remember which one, but if it's a new plane, they'll basically spawn new. The bank will create new planes in that for sale area. Okay, the aircraft for sale area. Okay. So like if we go to like people go to for sale, you'll see new planes spawn in here every once in a while. Okay. If it's from the bank, it could be something that went dormant and there was, the bank took it over, or if there's not enough supply in the game, then they'll create new ones. Okay. Hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. Do you have to have exactly the same plane model? No, you can alias, as Mike said. You can alias an aircraft. So like what I've done is, like, if I wanted to fly, for example, give you an example of that. So we have a King Air 200. I don't have a King Air 200 in X plane. Okay. So I aliased. I flew the King Air C90 in X plane, which is it's a stock plane, and I aliased it to this. Now the weights and balances might be a little off, right? But it'll still work. So because I just wanted to basically ferry this plane to Salt Lake, so I basically aliased it, used the alias. Okay, and to create an alias is you do that when you actually use the client when you're starting a flight. And if you go to aircraft models here, you can search King Air. Okay, and you can see here it says request alias. So you go here and it'll list all the aliases. And if you use any one of these when you set up your alias with your FS Economy client, it'll bring it in the game. But I usually just use like the most common one. Okay. Where is it? Beechcraft, probably Beechcraft King Air. 200. Where is it? Beechcraft. Like this one right here is probably the most common, okay? Or this one here. Beechcraft. That's probably the most common. That's the one I would use. I always use the one that matches up the best with the name, you know? Yeah, so that's how you do an alias. All right, so yeah, so let's talk about. So we were talking about let's talk about rentals. Oh, sorry, profitable airplanes. Take care, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, again, guys, check out Mike's website and his groups. But you can also join. You can be a member of 2 groups, guys. So if you want to join Mike's group and you want to join the VR Aviation, that works as well. So let's talk about profitable planes. I want to spend some time going over profitable planes. Okay. So there are a ton of airplanes available in FS Economy. So if we go here, I'll just show you all of them. Okay. Airplanes. Okay. These are all the airplanes available. Okay. Lots of Beechcrafts, tons of planes, lots of planes that you can choose from, okay? Not all of them are profitable, okay? Now, I'll caveat this with, I haven't flown every plane in FS Economy. I don't think anyone has, unless they're a maniac. Pardon me. I've flown certain planes, and I kind of learned through trial and error and talking to people which planes were profitable and which planes were not, okay? And when I say profit, a lot goes into it. Your time, the fuel economy, okay? Number of people that you can transport, or cargo, amount of cargo you can transport. So let's talk about people, okay? Passengers, right? If you spend an hour flying in FS Economy, you have an hour to spend, and you rent a Cessna C172. We look at the C172, and the C172 has 4 seats. 1 is taken up by the pilot, and 3 for passengers. That means you can only put 3 passengers in a 172. So if you're doing an hour flight in a 172, it's not going to cost you a lot in gas, but you're not going to make a lot of money. Let's just say you're getting an average of $800 per person gross, okay? And after expenses and stuff and net, you're getting $700. Let's just say, okay? $700. So yeah, okay, you like flying the 172, and that's cool. That's no problem. But if you want to make a profit, you want to fly 5 planes that can, pretty simple, allow you to hold more passengers. Okay, so for that same flight, that 1-hour flight from point A to point B, if I were to rent the, where the hell is it? The the Pilatus PC-12, okay? 11 seats, 10 passengers. All right, that same hour, I can have 10 passengers. I can make $7,000 instead of, like 2,100 in the Cessna 172. Now, this is going to burn a little bit more fuel, not quite a bit, but not a super amount more, but you're going to be making more money, right? This is one of the most profitable. I find that if you're going to fly GA or small business, the PC-12 is one of the most profitable planes in FS Economy. Okay? I own 2 PC-12s. Well, actually, I own 1. The group owns 1. Okay? I actually have a PC-12 in Tampa, because in Tampa, there's a ton. We can go over that later, but there's a ton of jobs in Tampa, and if I wanted to spend like an hour or a couple of hours flying and making some cash, it's a great place to do that in the PC-12. You can load it up with 10 people to point A, and you can load it up with 10 people going back, going back. Round trip. So round trip, 20 people, you're making 14,000 in that hour versus 4 in the Cessna. So the number one rule in FS economy is rent profitable aircraft. All right. So for GA flying, I would recommend 3 planes. Okay. And there's a lot of other ones. Okay. But the ones that I use, there's 3. Really 4. Let's go 4. Well, actually, 1 doesn't qualify. Well, GA flying. Okay. The ones I would recommend to start with, and you can explore others, okay, would be the PC-12. Now, PC-12 is not available in FS Economy, but if you're an X-plane, you can buy one from Coronado if you're interested in that, okay? You have to own, by the way, you have to have the plane in your simulator for it to work with FS Economy. That's a given, right? The PC-12. The other one is the Diamond DA62. So that's available in Microsoft Flight Simulator. In X-plane, you got to buy it, okay, from Aerobask. Let's take a look at this. 7 people, 6 passengers, pretty good, okay. Double of the Cessna, okay. This thing absolutely sips gas. It's a small plane, okay, but it absolutely sips gas, okay. This is to me, it's one of the best GA planes out there because it's very fast. It flies about 160 knots, okay. Easy to fly, and if I were to start out, my first plane that I would buy would be this plane. You can buy one for about $500,000, okay. So if you were to go to Nevada or if you go to Harrisburg, PA, you could pick this up for $500,000, okay, roughly $500,000. So the PC-12, the Diamond DA62, and the other one, we're talking GA planes, okay. The other one I'd highly recommend would be the Beechcraft Baron 58. That's available both in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's available in X-plane, okay. This is 6 people, 6 seats, 5 passengers. Pretty quick, it's still pretty quick. It cruises, I think, about 170, 180, okay. And I know one of our members, Skidmark, flies this plane a lot, okay. This is another profitable GA plane, okay. When you first start with FS Economy, you're going to be tempted to buy the first plane you can afford, all right? And the first plane that you're going to be able to afford usually is going to be the Cessna 172, okay? Don't buy a Cessna 172. You see, actually, the prices have gone up. These used to be about 140. I think it's because a lot of people have joined the game. You used to be able to get these for 140, 150, okay? 160 maybe. I think because a lot of people have joined the game, a lot of people are buying. They want to buy a plane. You want to buy a plane. Don't block. I'm telling you right now, okay? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Take 6. We're going to talk about the Caravan in a second. I don't really call that a GA plane. That's more of a commercial plane, but I want to go over that one in a second. Don't buy a Skyhawk unless you want it because you fly one in real life or you really like the plane and that's all you're ever going to use. I shouldn't say don't buy it. If you want to build net worth in FS Economy, don't buy a Skyhawk. You're only going to end up selling it. The first plane I bought was a Skyhawk, and after I made enough money and figured out how to make things profitable, I sold it. Okay, so don't buy a Skyhawk. If you want to buy a GA plane, okay, buy a Baron. Okay, because a Baron, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. Okay, it's going to cost you a little bit more money, but it basically has 5 seats. Okay, I would absolutely, if you're gonna buy, my first plane, if I was to start again, would be a Diamond 62, DA62, because the DA62 has 6 passengers, as I mentioned before, and it's $500,000. That's the one I would go for. Grind it out. Go rent PC-12s, okay, somewhere in Tampa. I've got one in Tampa. If you want to go rent a PC-12 there, I'll show it to you. Aircraft. Write this tail number down, okay? Oh, I don't have it for rent. I'll make it for rent. But go to Tampa, rent a PC-12, fly a bunch of flights, grind out some flights, make yourself $500,000, and go buy a DA62, because you got the free one. If you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you got the free one. Okay. If you don't have it free and you don't want to buy a third-party plane, like an X-plane, buy the Beechcraft. Okay. That's the one I would start with. All right. So now let's talk about small commercial aircraft. There's 3 that I would recommend. Okay. The first one is the Cessna 208. The Cessna 208, especially if you're using Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so let's look at aircraft. The Cessna 208 Caravan. Okay, 14 seats, 13 passengers. Okay, good amount of cargo. Not a huge amount of cargo, but decent amount of cargo. Okay, very good fuel economy. It's not a super fast plane, but you can ferry around a lot of people with this plane. Okay, this plane's going to cost you a little bit more money, though. It's going to cost you about $800,000. Now, you can rent one. You can rent it, okay? And when you're renting it, you're going to be able to, if you fill it up, which is a secret, you want to make sure you fill the plane up with as many people as you can, okay? You're going to have 13 people. So you got that magic, let's say $700 net. So 700 times 13. So you're talking about $9,000 a leg in that plane if you've got it full. That's a profitable plane. Okay. So that's one, the 208. The other one is the King Air C90 or King Air 350, whichever King Air, the King Air genre, if you will. We've got some planes making some noise in the background there. So let's take a look at the King Air. So the King Air 200, okay? King Air 200. 13 passengers. Oh, who just signed up there? I can't see who that was. Whoever just subscribed, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much. Give me 1 second here, guys. All right. So the King Air 200, 13 passengers. Let's look at let's go to aircraft. Let's go. Hold on. We'll go here. Let's find a C90. C90 Beechcraft. Come on, King Air C90. $11 passengers. All right, another very profitable plane. If you're an X-Plane 11 flyer, it's a free plane. There's a couple of King Airs available in FS Economy. I mean, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I highly recommend the King Airs. Okay. You're gonna get a lot of people in them, okay, and they're profitable flights, okay. That's what you're looking for, profitable flights, okay. The other one is the Beachcraft B1900d. Let's take a look at that. All right, the B1900d. Now this is your third-party plane. I don't think it's available in FS Econ, a Microsoft Flight Simulator. Where is it? King Air 1900D. Sorry, not King Air. Beechcraft 1900D. This plane here, I made when I first started. I used to fly the crap out of this plane. Okay, 19 passengers. 19 passengers. So what I used to do with this plane, okay, is I would go to an airport like Tampa, okay. Okay, go to Tampa, and I would look for jobs in Tampa, and I would fill up. I would do like three-legged jobs, right? Pick 3 points, A, B, C, and make a round trip around the triangle. And I would try to calculate it so I always had, at least 19 seats or as close to 19 seats filled for every flight. And I'd run the triangle legs. You'd make a crap load of money doing that, right? So the B1900D. Now I don't think it's available. Let me just look at the planes in. I just try. I forget all the planes in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let me just pull a list of planes. All right, so it's going to depend on which you own. So we've got. All right, Microsoft Flight Simulator. You got a King Air 350. That would be good. You got the 208, which is good. You got the Baron 50P G58, which would be good. You got the D62, which would be good. You don't have. Yeah, you don't have. Unfortunately, you don't have the 1900D. Yeah, it takes 6. Unless you really like your Cessna, it's probably not a good idea to spend your money on that. You're better off spending your money renting PC-12 or 208s, okay, filling them up with a bunch of passengers and doing that. Unless you really want to own a C-172. Which some people do, and that's fine. All right. Let's see. So that's profitable. Okay. So here's a couple other things, other tidbits to. So that's profitable planes, right? The ones I like are the PC-12, the DA62, the Beechcraft 1900D, Cessna 208, King Air series, and the Baron. Now for cargo, the Challenger 300 in X plane is great. You can hold a crap load. You can actually ferry a C-172 in a Challenger. I have not found the command to do that to the world. I'm just going to call you a world. It's easier. I haven't found the command to do that. Time compression. Let's talk about time compression because you bring it up. All right. So time compression or acceleration, available in X-Plane 11. I use time acceleration. Look at it this way. Unless there's some specific scenery you want to see from the air, the two most exciting parts of a flight are the takeoff and the landing, right? Right? So, if you're grinding out jobs, if you're a grinder, time compression, you can go up to 16 times the simulator speed in X-Plane 11, okay? Which can save you a lot of time, obviously. I'm sure they'll get it in FSC, in Flight Simulator. I would recommend using it. Now, there's a caveat. You can only have 30 hours of FSE flight time in a 48-hour real-time period. Okay, And you'll notice like up here in the right-hand corner where it says hours flown, if we click on that in the last 48 hours, I haven't flown a lot. Sometimes though, I've actually hit the maximum. When I get like in these binges where I'm just flying like a maniac, I'll actually hit the maximum. That's happened to me a couple times. All right. So it takes 48, like this flight here, you know, I did it 42 hours ago, right? It takes 2 days for these to cycle through and to be deleted from your queue to allow you time to fly. But you got 30 hours that you have in your cache, if you will, your flight cache. It's probably a good way to term it, flight cache. All right. So yeah, time compression. Now some people kind of shy away from time compression. They don't think it's a good idea. Whatever. I think it's a fine idea. I don't use it all the time, but you know, I do use it. Ooh, thank you, dude. I didn't know how to do that, so I'm making a note of that. Boggerman, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me just get my notepad here. Time compression. Now the question is it supported in FS economy? Because I know. So is it right control minus to decelerate, I guess? I guess it's right. It's R control minus to go back. I guess I'll have to check it out. But I remember there was a time when FSC didn't properly support it. Like you would in X-Plane, like you would the X-Plane client, you would turn on time compression, and then you would get to the end of your flight, and it wouldn't record the flight, like the flight had been canceled. But they fixed that. It works flawlessly now in X-Plane. I'm not sure about the FS Flight Simulator client. Check it out, but that's definitely something that you know, I want to check out. Or minus. Thank you. Thank you for that, dude. Appreciate that on the number pad. Gotcha. All right. So what we were talking about? We were talking about profitable flights. We got through that. I wanted to talk about time acceleration. Let's talk about. This is a key one here. It's a little like a unknown thing, or kind of like a hidden thing. Okay. We're going to talk about booking fees and bonuses. Bonuses, distance bonus, kind of confuses people. Let's talk about booking fees first. Okay. This is real simple. Okay. So if we go to a airport. Okay. And we look at these flights, okay? We get a good example here. That's probably not a good example. Let's go to, someone's flying here a lot. It's awesome. We got 89 flights. We're getting a lot of flights here. That's awesome. Hold on. Let me go to LaGuardia, Roanoke. That might be better. Yeah, Roanoke. Okay. So, Roanoke. All right. So, see this flight here to 31 VA. Let's say that I wanted to fill up a Baron. So the Baron's got 5 passengers, right? I could put 5 passengers. Well, that's probably not a good example. Let's say I wanted to fill up the DA 62. Okay. So there's a rule in FS economy that if you have more than 5 assignments, you get charged a booking fee. Okay. And that booking fee is based on It's a percentage of all the assignments. Now you can find out more about this in the manual. There's a whole specifics on booking fees. Okay. So if I were to load up, is that a good? Let's say we're flying the Cessna. No, that's not a good example. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good example. A plane. Let's say that we're flying a plane that has. I'm trying to think of a good example here. Well, let's do it this way. So I'll just explain it. If you put more than 5 assignments in your plane, you get charged a booking fee, whatever that plane is. Now, sometimes you have to, because like in a B1900d or a 208, you have to put more than 5 assignments. So this really comes more into the GA planes, all right? Even the PC-12, like PC-12 is a good example. Like if I have to, if I go to, I tell you what, let me go to Tampa, because that's where I could probably find a good example. All right, so let's go down here to Tampa. And, all right, so NPA. Let's say I'm going to fill up a PC-12. Is that a good one? I'm just trying to find NSC. NSC? Yeah, NSC is a good example. So let's say I was going to try to fill up a PC-12 with 10 passengers flying from Tampa to NSC. Now, you would think because a one-person assignment is $944, right? So you would think that, oh, I want to fill up as many one-person assignments as I can into my PC-12. If I can have 10, geez, that's more money. Well, here's the problem with that. You get charged, as I mentioned, a percentage of booking fee if you go over more than 5 assignments. So if you put 10 one-person assignments in your PC-12, you're going to pay a pretty decent booking fee. All right? And let's say, I think it's going to be about 8% or 9%, I would think. I think it's around there. It adds up over time. $700 here, $600 there, $400 there. Over hundreds of flights, it adds up, okay? So you got to try to avoid booking fees. Now, I could easily fill up this plane, the PC-12, with 10 passengers by going 3 and 2. There's 5, okay? What's that? Oh, sorry. My bad. Thank you. Sorry about that. There you go. Sorry about that. I could easily fill up this plane. So you can see here, we're looking at NSC. Okay, we got all these assignments. My objective is to fill this PC-12 up that has 10 passengers with 5 assignments, so I can avoid booking fees. So here's 2 assignments that have a total of 5 passengers. Then I can go 2, 1, 2. So there's another 5 passengers. So now you can see I've got 5 assignments with 10 passengers. That's the optimal way, okay, to fill up a plane. It's less on the smaller GA planes, but in planes that have, 10 passengers or more, you want to try to limit the amount of assignments if you can. Now, there's a trade-off too, because you're getting less money, for a 2-passenger assignment, you're getting $1,500 versus $1,800, or if you got 2 1-passenger assignments, okay? But I always try to avoid the booking fees, because I figure I'm an active player. If over time, I could save myself, tens of thousands of dollars, if it's economy money, virtual money, by avoiding booking fees, all right? So again, less concerning in GA planes, more in planes that have 10 or above, okay? Can I talk about gate rental and why you might want to rent one? We'll talk about that in a second. I'm not big on gate rentals. I think a gate gate rental is fine in a gate that's really active. But if you rent a gate in an area that's not active, you're not going to make much money. I believe there's some savings that you can. I don't do any gate rentals. I've never really done any of that. Either I just buy the FBO or I stay away from it. Sorry, before we go there though, let's talk about bonuses. So distance bonus. Now you can read about this again in the manual. Highly recommend you check out the manual. Okay, so let's go to KWWD. So this plane here, all right, this Cirrus right here, this Cirrus SR22. You can see it's got a distance bonus of 500. All right, what does that mean? So that means if I rent this plane and I fly it from Cape May to Roanoke, which is 200 and something miles, when I land in Roanoke, I am going to get charged a distance bonus, okay? If it's $500, you divide it by 100. I think that's how it works. You can look it up in the manual, but it would be like $5 a mile, okay? So when I get to Roanoke, I'm paying like $1,000 in distance bonus, somewhere around maybe $1,200 in distance bonus, okay? If I take that same plane, rent that same plane, look at that guy flying over the airport there. If I take that same plane and rent it again and go back from Roanoke back to Cape May, I get reimbursed that distance bonus. So don't let distance bonus shy you away from renting if you're doing a round trip rental. If you're doing a point A to point B rental and that's it, and you're going to leave the plane there, you're going to pay it and you're not going to get it back. You only get it back when you bring the plane back. Okay? Now, if you rented the plane, you flew there, you flew from Cape May to Roanoke, and you left the plane there, right? And 2 days from now, you signed back on, and now the plane's still there, and you flew it back, you're going to get your distance bonus back. But if someone rented that plane in between the time that you rented it, that money's gone. Your opportunity to reclaim your distance bonus is gone. Okay, that's the simple explanation of distance bonus. Most rental planes have a distance bonus, and the reason why, hey Drift, thanks for joining. The reason why they have a distance bonus is because the owners of the planes, they don't want those planes to be flown too far away from their home, right? So like, for example, VR Aviation owns this SR22, okay, in Cape May. We don't want it flown to Indiana, all right? Because then someone's got to get in the plane and fly it back to Cape May, which is, a pain. It's a long flight, even with time acceleration. It's a pain in the neck to do. It's not something that's, it's called ferrying. Sometimes it's fun to do, like what we do in the group is, I'm doing great, Triff. How are you doing? In the group, what we'll do is if someone takes a plane and they don't care about the distance bonus and they fly at 300 miles from Cape May, well, what I'll do is I'll offer people a job, and you can actually create assignments to ferry that plane back. Okay. What am I doing? We're talking about FS Economy. I'm answering questions for people on FS Economy. FS Economy is a virtual aviation world that you can use with Flight Simulator and with X-Plane, P3D, others, to simulate the economics of aviation. So anyway, that was distance bonus. Just understand how they work, how it works. If you do point A to point B, you'll get, and you go back, you'll get your money back, okay? If you own a plane and you want to rent it out, I recommend putting a distance bonus on it, because that'll it'll curtail people from flying it away. Now, if you own, let's say you owned a jet like a Challenger, right? Or you owned a Citation or something, and you didn't care about, you know, people flying it all over the world because it's, you know, it's a fast plane and it's not too bad to get it back, whatever. You could put a very small distance bonus on it, like maybe $100 or something. So that way, if let's say someone flew it from New York to Tampa and you had to fly it back, at least you're recouping some money that'll pay for the gas to bring it to, you know, to bring it back to New York, right? So basically, if you're an airplane owner, distance bonus can help you control your aircraft. If you're an airplane rental person, a renter, I should say, don't shy away from it. Just understand how it works. Okay. Hopefully that was you guys got what I'm talking about there. All right, so let's see. That's distance bonus. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, so the other thing is when you're first starting out, you want to pick, I don't think I covered this yet, you want to pick airports that have a lot of multi-passenger assignments. So like, for example, this is Cape May. You see, I purposely have this set up with multi-passenger assignments because that way people can avoid the booking fees, right? People can avoid the booking fees. If you look at Roanoke, which is the other airport that we own, same thing. You know, we have multiple passenger assignments. Okay, if you look at an airport like LaGuardia, one of the busiest airports in the game. Okay, you could see a ton of multi-passenger, so it's very easy to avoid booking fees when you're flying out of LaGuardia. Highly recommend LaGuardia. Our group has a PC-12 here, 328 PC. We rent it out of there. If you want to rent that plane, please feel free to do it. Just please bring it back to LaGuardia if you could. But LaGuardia is a great place to earn some money. If you got a King Air, I'm actually gonna probably buy a King Air for LaGuardia for FS Economy. Oh, sorry, Microsoft Flight Simulator, because it's got a ton of assignments and some really cool places to go to. I mean, look at all these assignments. It's just amazing, right? So that's a very good airport. A great way to figure out which airports are, let me just go to which are profitable or very busy airports. FS Economy, the folks at FS Economy, they have there's a newsletter, a monthly newsletter that they create. Okay, it's called the FSE Reporter. Okay, you get it. Go to the community website where the bulletin board is, the forum is, and go to the main menu and just select FSE Reporter, and you can take a look at the current issue. Okay, here's the current issue right there. Okay, just zoom in here. Yes, let me zoom in here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, and it's got, you know, it's got articles and stuff, interesting people that, you know, are involved with the game and stuff, and new pilots get listed. This number is going to go up in August for sure. It's 299 that joined in July. Honor roll here. Okay, these are people that have been involved with it for quite some time. Okay, this right here, the statistics, what they call the black box. This is great information to understand. Basically, this is the analytics of FS Economy. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So you've got Top airports by operation. That means by jobs, right? So you could see SJT, San Angelo, Orlando, LaGuardia, Charlotte. I can't pronounce this. I guess this is in South America. TPA, Kingsford, Marta, Southampton, and Logan. Okay. These, we were looking at LaGuardia before. We were looking at Tampa before. Those are places where people go to fill up their planes. Now, maybe that's a lot of airliners, okay? But a lot of operations. Okay? Next is aircraft. Okay? There's a reason why, and there's flights and by purchases. Now, there's a reason why the Cessna is the most purchased. It's because it's the cheapest plane, one of the cheapest planes you can buy, and it's free in most simulators. Although I think in I think you have to have one of the higher versions of Flight Simulator to use that plane. But in any event, as I said before, I don't recommend buying a 172 in FS Economy. Okay, but you can see 329 people in July bought one. Okay, so there's a big market for them, but there's always a lot for sale. All right, the next is the Caravan. The next is the Baron. Okay, PC-12 is always in here. Okay, the SR-22 is up because in July, or I should say, I guess it was June, maybe July. Yeah, in July, Torque Sim released a study level SR-22 for X-Plane. That's why that one is up. But usually the planes that are listed here are your more profitable planes. Okay. But you don't see the DA62. I love the DA62. I think it's awesome. But here's by flights. Look what's number one. Caravan. Why is the Caravan number one? What did we say? 13 passengers? Okay. Lockheed. Why is that? That's a cargo plane. Big, huge cargo plane. People have ferrying stuff around, supplies. You can cart up an airport. Let's say that I wanted to have a 172, or let's say I wanted to have a what do you call it? A Cirrus SR-22. I wanted to have one in Hawaii, but there isn't one available in Hawaii. But I bought one in California. All right. I could box it up. You can cart it up. Someone could take a large plane like a Lockheed, probably overkill, but maybe like a Bombardier Challenger. I think that would probably hold it. Load up the crated up SR-22, fly it across the Pacific to Hawaii, and bring it there and deposit it. Those are the kind of things that you can do in FS Economy. And these large aircraft can do that kind of thing. The C-130 is a massive, massive airport. But you can see it's got a lot of flights, and those are cargo flights. The Beechcraft 1900d, we talked about that one. That's the 19-passenger moneymaker, okay? The Dassault Falcon, the King Air 350. That's going to become even more popular with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, remember, you have FSX pilots in here too, so I think there's a King Air 350 in that. Skyhawk has a lot of flights, but again, not profitable. The Baron's big. The DC-3 is big. People love that Douglas DC-3. And the PC-12. Okay. So top aircraft by pilots. This is all great information to tell you which are the more, the pilots are going to fly the ones that are more profitable, and look what they are. Take this one out, okay, because this is basically, newer members that are just flying out. But the 208, the Baron, 350, the PC-12, the TBM 850, okay, the King Air C90, okay. This will tell you which are the profitable planes. And then you have groups. Now we actually, when we were at here's Cross Point, which is Mike's group. Okay. Hopefully, if we get enough new members, we're going to end up back in here. We've been in here before, all right? But this is the VR Aviation group. So anyway, this is an important piece of information to look at if you want to understand, you know, which planes to rent, okay? Or which planes even to buy, okay? All right, so we talked about that. We talked about joining the benefits of joining a group. Oh, here's a really cool thing that you can check out. It's called, there's a third-party application called Fse Flight Planner, okay? You can download it here. It's freeware, okay? It's a Windows application. It uses Google Earth, okay? I'll put the link in the description. I'm sorry, link in the chat. This is the link, okay? You can, there's YouTube tutorials on how to use it. This is a very cool application that'll help you to find the most profitable flights. I used to use this. I used to fly a lot of cargo flights with the Challenger 300, like, you know, massive cargo flights, and made a lot of money doing that, like $25,000 a flight kind of thing. It's a great way to, that's how I built up a lot of my net worth. I think my net worth is like 12 million now or something like that. But I built a lot of that up by flying cargo, and I used to use this planner to help me plan out those find the cargo that were profitable. It's a great application. I'm not going to go into all the details here, but I would highly recommend it if you want to get into it, to check this out, okay? Fse Flight Planner. It's free, easy to use, uses Google Earth. It's very cool, okay? So make sure you check that out. Yeah, so I guess one of the last things is FBO ownership, okay? So FBO ownership it's a grind, okay? FBO ownership is a grind. It's not for everybody. Okay, before we do, let's talk about FBO. So FBO ownership. So you need to read, if you're gonna get involved with FBOs, read the manual. Okay, go to the manual, and under here there's a whole section on FBOs. Read this section. Okay, understand this section. Okay. There's a lot to FBOs, and FBOs can be profitable if it's in a good area and if you attract people to it. So here's the myth. If you build it, they will come. They won't. If you build it, they won't come. Okay? Unless you find a way to link in. And there's interesting ways to do things. Like, let's say that you found an FBO that was near Charlotte, okay? Airport. It was a 2-lot FBO near Charlotte Airport, okay? And it was for sale for $300,000, okay? What I would do is I would message the person, figure out who owns Charlotte. So let me show you how to do that. So I go to airports, type in Charlotte, KCLT. Okay, who owns it? These guys here. Okay, so we'll figure out who they are. Okay, I'm gonna go to the, I should be able, if I go here, I should be able to go to the community. Let's see, go to inbox, new message, okay, and this guy should come, I should be able to, that should be his username, but the way to really verify it is to go to pilots, I think it is, and go to here and do a find and see if we can find him. No, he's not there. So let's go to groups and do a find. This is just basically a Chrome find. Okay. This is, okay, there he is. TWHMG Holdings. That's his pilot name. So I'm going to copy and paste that. And I'm going to go into new message, and I'm going to paste that there. And I'll just, let's say he owns Charlotte. So I'll send him a note. Hey, Spirit, I'm thinking about buying an FBO near Charlotte. Would you mind connecting with me so that, you know, I can get some traffic? Okay. And what I mean by connecting, it's called under facilities. So if you go to facilities, okay, let's say VR Aviation East, okay, and I go to KWWD. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I go edit here. You can see here under the FBOs, these are all the FBOs that I'm connected with. Okay. Now, if I go to Roanoke, because I actually did this with Roanoke, you see, I have Charlotte connected. I actually emailed that dude and said, hey, would you mind connecting? Because what happens is, if he puts me in his facilities, and if he puts Roanoke, KROA, in his facility under Charlotte, and I put it in mine, then I will generate jobs for him, and he will generate jobs for me. So what I just did there is now I know he's going to do it, so I go by the FBO. I set up the facility. I email him, say, look, I just sent up, or I message him. I just set up facilities. You're all set to go. Please do the same. Once he sets it up, now both places will create activity. And I'll show you an example of where I did that. So if I go to FBO's VR Aviation East, this airport here, K-Way, it's near Pittsburgh, okay? And what I did was this Pittsburgh, the guy who owns Pittsburgh, I emailed him. It's only 36 miles away, and I said, hey, would you like to exchange? And we exchanged, and now I generate jobs for Pittsburgh. He generates jobs for this. So this, even though this thing is like 155 miles away from my hub point, which is Roanoke, it's still generating, you know, 4 or 5 jobs a month on its own. So it's an active airport. It becomes an active airport. So you want to think of these things as like partnerships, all right? And be a little creative in how you do your connections with FBOs. So that's one way to start, like if you're just going to buy one FBO, all right? But as I mentioned, kind of like when we first started here, have a plan with your FBOs. Unless you're just buying an FBO because you like it, you think it's cool and it's a nice area. Have a plan with your FBOs, okay? The way to set up FBOs is like it's a hub and spoke, okay? So if I go to the VR Aviation website, I'm going to show you, these are our FBO networks, okay? So this is our Cape May network right here, all right? So Cape May KWWD is here. That's a 3-lot airport. 3-lot airports generate like 27, can have a maximum of like 27 assignments or jobs, I think it is. Well, these are all 2-lot airports, except I have a couple of 1-lots because I like those airports and I want to be able to fly there. But I don't recommend 1-lotters. 2-lotters, I think, have 12 assignments, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just look and make sure I'm right on that. FBO. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm right on that. So that's not it. Yeah. So it's 12 passengers, okay, for a 2-lot FBO, okay, and it's 27 max passengers for a 3-lot FBO. So that means like a 3-lot FBO can generate more assignments than a 2-lot FBO, and a 1-lot FBO has a maximum, I think, of like 4, okay, or maybe 3. So the way to do it is you have 3-lot FBOs, okay, and you connect those 3-lot FBOs together as your backbone, if you will, of your network, okay? And then you have, those are your hubs. And then you have spokes going out to 2-lot FBOs, okay? And sometimes I connect these 2-lot FBOs, like this guy here. This is K-Way. I have him connected to Pittsburgh. Okay, and like this guy here, I forget which one this is. No, sorry, Roanoke, I have a connection to Charlotte. But there's another one here I have connected to Scranton, I think. Okay, so it just brings in traffic from somebody else's network. Okay, and maybe they'll see an assignment to get into my network and kind of like, think of it as like a web, right? You're a spider and you're trying to bring planes into your web. If that makes sense. Hey, Mouse, thanks for joining. Well, it's okay. You can watch the replay. And I don't mind answering. If you have any questions, I don't mind answering them. Not a problem at all. But if you have any questions, now's the time. All right, so hub and spoke. If you want to get into the world of FBOs, it's a long grind. It took me 3 years and a lot of help from other people and partnerships. And we actually at one time had a network in Montana that Mike, who was here before, that we partnered together, and we pulled that in, and then we ended up selling that one. And I found Roanoke was for sale, and I bought that. I think I paid $6 million for Roanoke, and I started building that up. Okay, the 3-lot FBOs are expensive. You know, they're you got to remember, this game's been around for 15 years. I think it's 15. And all of the really good 3-lot FBOs are owned already, right? So it's very difficult. It's very, very rare that a 3-lot FBO goes up for sale. Okay, it's very difficult. Like KWWD, I think it went up for sale 2 years ago, and I just figured out a way to buy it. And the Roanoke, it was the right time, right place. I figured out a way to buy it, and it was a decent connection, even though it's a little far. I mean, I would actually ideally like to have like another spoke like around here, okay, or maybe down here, like Norfolk, to have like a triangle hub, and then start building off FBOs that way. All right. So if you want to get into the FBO game, you got to have a strategy, and start with 2-lot FBO. Make sure you try to connect it up to somebody else that can bring some traffic to it, so it makes some money. Okay, because these are going to they're going to cost you. You have to pay. You got to pay money every. You got to put supplies in there. Each FBO. Well, let me go over that. So each FBO uses supplies. So let's basically a 1-lot FBO uses 10. What is this? I forget what this represents. Oh, it's 10 kilograms of supplies a day. Okay. 31. A 2-lot uses 40 kilograms, and a 3-lot uses 90 kilograms a day. All right. So basically, a 3-lot airport is going to use 90 times. It's going to use 2,700 kilograms of supplies a day. So if I go to supplies, if I tell you that's going to cost me, let's just do a quote. So 2,700, right? 2,700 in supplies. So I'm paying. It's going to cost $18,000, okay, a month for supplies to keep a 3-lot going. It's 1,200 kilos for a 2-lot, so it's going to cost $8,000 a month, okay, and it's 300 for a 1-lot. So 1-lots are only $2,000. They're cheap. So let's say you bought a 2-lot FBO. You gotta figure out a way to make $8,000 a month to cover supplies. All right. If you're not getting any traffic there, it's very difficult to do that, and it'll go underwater. I would say that our networks are just about probably breaking even, maybe making a little bit of money. Okay. Most of the money that our group makes is from the pilot fees. Okay. And that, when I say the FBOs are making money, because when you own an FBO, if someone lands at your FBO, you get the crew fees and all that stuff. And if someone buys gas, you want to make sure you're making a little bit of money on gas. Okay. So FBO management is a grind, and that's when if you want to get into it, It's sort of like the monopoly part of FS economy, ownership of property, right? There's ownership of aircrafts, which is more, more liquid, and there's ownership of FBOs, right? Hopefully it wasn't asked already. No problem. Now that you joined a group, how do you do missions for the group? All right, that's a good question. That's a great question, actually. I didn't cover that. So now that you joined a group, okay. And thank you for joining our group. So let's say that I wanted to go to, now you can, okay, so you can fly a mission for the group anywhere in the world. Okay. So you want to try, if you're part of a group and a group has a network, you want to try to fly some of your missions in the group's network because it's helpful to the group, okay? But it's not necessary, okay? So let's just cover that first. So let's say that I wanted to rent the DA62. Okay, so I just rented that. Okay, so just rented the DA62, and I wanted to fly these 6 passengers because it holds 6 people. I want to fly these 6 passengers to 331 VA. Okay, so I'm going to add those assignments to the flight. Now, if I go to my flight, you see right here it says if you want to fly this flight for a group, select its name. So I want to fly for VR Aviation. So all I do is select Fly for VR Aviation, and now I'm flying that mission for the group. Okay? Very simple. If I wanted to, here's another benefit of, let me just get rid of these guys. Another benefit of flying for the group. In your group menu, you're going to see assignments, okay? You'll see assignments, VR Aviation, okay? And in here you can see those assignments I just loaded up went into these assignments. Now these assignments, even though I canceled them out of my flight, they're reserved for our group. Like you can see here, like Wilson C91, okay? Wilson, he's another group member. He's put these 2 assignments in the group. Looks like he's going to be flying a Cessna, okay? Because he's got 3 people. These will stay there as long as, as long as you want. Okay, so you could, like, let's say that I'm going to get rid of these guys. All right, so let's say that I've got no assignments now. So I'm going to go to KWWD, okay? So now I'm KWWD. I want to fly a Cessna to Mountain Bay in near Lake Wallenpaupack in Pennsylvania, okay? So I'm going to select these 3, but I'm not going to be able to do it until tomorrow. But I want to reserve these, okay? I want to reserve these, okay? Now you got to watch the expiration. I believe, read the manual, but I believe when you select one that's expiring, this one's expiring in 9 minutes, which means it goes away. Because these jobs they only last a certain amount of time, and when it expires, new ones are generated. But I believe when you do what I'm about to do, it reserves it for you because it's in the group. Just we'll have to read the manual on that. I can't remember exactly how that works. So I want to add to, not my flight, I want to add to VR Aviation. I just select my group, okay? And when I do that, now if I go to Group Assignments VR Aviation, those 3 assignments are in there, okay? So now, tomorrow, when I come back, those 3 assignments will still be in. Oh yeah, see, look, it added, it was 9 minutes before. It adds 24 hours, so it adds a day. If it's expiring, it'll add a day, so you'll have an extra day to get it. So tomorrow I'm going to go back. I'm going to pick these things. I'm going to put it in my flight. I'm just going to go boom, 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 add to selected to my flight, okay? And then I'm going to go to KDDD, and I'm going to rent the Skyhawk, okay? I'm going to rent the Skyhawk. Now that Skyhawk there will only show up for the group because there's no rent on it. Only the group member can rent that. Okay? One of the benefits of joining groups that have free planes. We've got some free planes. All right? And now if I look at my flight, there's my passengers, there's my Skyhawk. Pretty simple. Okay? So we were talking about FBOs. So let's talk about financing. Now, let me go back to the FSC Reporter. You'll notice when you look at FSC Reporter, and actually you'll see this on the forums as well. There are actually finance companies, and some of them advertise here, okay? Kenmore Air, okay? Aircraft leasing, aircraft financing. What's that all about? Well, you're starting off with FS Economy, and you make the mistake of wanting to buy a C-172. In my humble opinion, it's a mistake, but let's just say you want to buy a 172 and it's $200,000, right? You don't have $200,000. And you don't feel like going to Tampa and renting our PC-12 and grinding it out in Tampa, okay? Which, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna just cancel these. I don't want to keep someone else from renting this plane. But I want to go to aircraft, and I want to change, in case someone wants to rent this. So you can go to Tampa and rent our PC-12, okay? Actually, I'm going to make that $4.99, make it more attractive. All right, so we're talking about financing and leasing. So basically, I want to buy this 172 for $200K. I only have $10,000 or $15,000, whatever, so a small amount of money, okay? I don't feel like going and grinding it out and renting Bambino's PC-12 in Tampa, grinding it out and making 200 grand over a couple of days. I want to buy it right now. Well, you can go to Kenmore Air, email them, contact them, and they will lend you the money to buy the plane. They're going to charge you interest, and you got to pay them every month. You know, it works just like a bank. They will lend you the $200,000, and then over time you pay them, and you end up paying, you know, $250,000 for the plane. Okay. Or you can lease planes. They will lease you a plane. So instead of renting the plane every time you want to rent it, let's say for an we'll use a C-172, even though I don't recommend buying one of those or leasing one of those. It's going to cost you about $100 an hour to rent that plane. Okay. So if you wanted to lease one, Kenmore, I'm sure, would be happy to lease you one. I'm giving them free advertising. I'm sure they would be happy to lease you one for a reasonable price. I'm just going to throw something out. I don't know exactly what they lease for. $2,000 a month. All right, or maybe it's probably going to be $3,000 a month because their fee on the plane is $1,100. They have to pay. They want to make some money on it. So $3 grand a month, you can, let's just say, lease that plane. So this way you don't have to pay rental fees, and you can fly it anywhere you want. Okay, and you could do that for any plane. Okay, so leasing, I would say, is a good deal when you, let's say you wanted to lease a PC-12 or a 208 Caravan 208 because you had a lot of flying to do. You wanted to save some money on hourly rental. It's a good way to do. Leasing's a good way to do that. Okay. So people will lend you money to buy planes or even FBOs. People will lend you money to buy. People will lease planes or even lease FBOs to you. I would shy away from that for the smaller aircraft. Go to Tampa, rent our PC-12, the Aero VR PC-12 for $4.99 an hour. Run a bunch of jobs there, make your money, grind out your money, and then, you know, I've been doing this 3 years and I've never taken a loan. So loans are good for some people. I personally don't. I'm not wild about loans. You tried to get into Fse Economy Planner. The link I provided was for the forum. You have to, okay, the link I provided was for the fseconomy.net forum. You have to be logged into the forum for that link to work, okay? So log into the Fse Economy forum. See what I'm showing here right now? Log into that forum. You can see I'm logged in here, Bambino, right? And then you'll be able to see that message. Let's see. Yeah, there is a planner site, but I would recommend looking at this link because it's got all the information, and the guy who writes it, you want to have this post handy because the guy who developed it is the you know, he puts stuff here, and you want to be able to see the stuff here. So make sure you check this out. Is FSC site having password reset issues? Oh, okay. So you can see here it says, if you forgot your password, email is not being sent because of the people spamming it. New account emails are affected as well. Some are sending dozens of requests. They've got 50,000 emails in the last 24 hours. For those needing a password reset, you'll have to wait till some of those roll off. Okay, so they're basically saying that you're going to have to wait. Yeah, they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. Hey, you got to give these guys a break. They do this, it's all for free, right? So, you know, and because of Microsoft Flight Simulator, they're just overwhelmed with people. All right. So we were talking about renting and leasing. So there are companies that'll lend you money, okay, which is cool. All right. So the other tip I can tell you is join the FSE community. You can see here this forum, okay. Check this forum out. There's a lot to it, okay. There's a lot to it. You don't have to go. You're gonna find. You can find auctions here. So let's go to auctions. Where is it? Auctions. Please don't forget to mention ways, strategies to sell a plane in smart way. Well, there's a couple of ways to sell a plane. We can go over that, but let me go over this first. This is one way to buy a plane. You can go here in auctions, and you can see, like, for example, I'm going to go to my topics because I recently auctioned off a plane here. I auctioned off a Mooney Bravo M20. Okay, I put this up for sale. Okay, I started at the bank price, which was actually no, it wasn't the bank price. I started at $265. Yeah, it was a buyback price. $265 was a system buyback price, and you could see people bid on it. Okay, and I ended up selling it for what was it? $345K. Okay, auctions are a good way to sell planes that are popular. Okay, because people want to buy planes that are popular. Okay, how do you know if a plane is popular? Well, if you go to M20s, there aren't too many of them for sale. Okay, so that means if I own one of these, okay, I can make a good. I'm gonna make a good amount of money probably by either auctioning it or pricing it in a range that's, you know, like this. Here's how I would look at it. So let's say the Mooney here. There's only one available in the United States. Let's say I'm in the United States, right? There's only one available in the United States, and it's in Pennsylvania. It's got low hours. It's $400,000. Okay. Let's say that I own one in California. Now, there's none available in California. No one's going to buy a Mooney in PA and fly it all the way to California. I mean, I've done that. I've done cross countries with like Cirruses, okay, SR20s or SR22s, but that's a long way. Actually, I did it in the DA62, so I shouldn't say that, but I got it real cheap and I flew it out there. But so most people will want to buy, let's say, my Mooney in California. So I can put that, and California is a very popular area, especially Southern California, because of Pilot Edge and a lot of other third-party things. That area is very popular. So let's say my plane is in San Diego, okay? I could price that plane probably at about the highest price here. Like I would say like $450, $460, somewhere around there, okay? And then what I would do is I would make a post on the forum. Okay, go to here and go to aircraft. Where is it? Aircraft sales. Where the hell is it? Aircraft sales. Okay, and here's one I have for sale. I would make a post in the forum, available for public sale. Okay, or you can do private sale if you want. Okay, tell them where it is. Okay, give them a link to the plane itself. Maybe some more information, okay? And if you want to say price negotiable, you can say that too, okay? But announce to the forum that this plane is for sale. Just don't put the plane up in for sale, because what happens is when you put a plane for sale, if you go to, it basically, if someone's looking for a Mooney, this is what they're going to see, right? They go to the Mooney, okay? They go for sale. And you're going to see all the Moonies listed. So, for example, if I go like PC-12s, there's 53 PC-12s available. Okay, that's a lot of PC-12s. I've got one for sale, 829. But I would say probably now is not a good time to sell a PC-12. So I'm probably going to take it off the market, because look what's happening. Here's one with 0 hours on it, right? 0 hours on it. So 850K, 840K. Mine's got 350. I'm not going to sell that for 820. That's never going to happen. So you got to pick your time. It's just like it's like a normal market. You got to pick your time when to sell a plane, okay? What happens if you crash while you're doing a mission? Okay. What happens is your mission will be canceled, and you will have to start it over again from point A. So let's say you're flying from Cape May to Roanoke, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the Delaware Bay, your DA62 takes a header. Okay, a lot of noise. Ooh, look at that plane. All of a sudden, your DA62 takes a header, okay, into the Delaware Bay. You basically have to restart. You may have to cancel it in your My Flight menu page, and under here you may have to cancel it, but you just have to restart it. Have I gone over how to match planes? I can go over that. So how to match planes that you have in your sim to one that's available for a job in FSC. So let's take Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right. So basically, I'm staying with my airports because, just self-advertising, guys. So let's go to Cape May, owned by VR Aviation. So let's say that I'm going to pick something simple. I got to go to Roanoke because it doesn't have a 72. I always go here, and first thing I do is sort by nautical miles. It should be the default. I don't know why it's not, but because that's really what I like to see is how far they are. And that way it sorts everything together. So just sort by nautical miles and you'll see all the airports sorted together. No problem. No problem. Thanks for joining. All right, let's say I want to fly a 172. Okay. I belong to our group, so I can fly this one for free. I'm going to rent it. And I'm going to fly this mission to Tazewell. So I'm going to put 3 people in it. Okay. I'm going to use 3 one-person assignments because that gets me the maximum money. This is $2,100 here, or yeah, $2,400 versus what would be 21. So I make a little bit more money, right, in that case, right, by doing 3 separate instead of a 2 and a 1. So you want to be cognizant of that. So I put that into my flight, add to my flight. Go to my flight. Okay. Select VR Aviation. Now what's happened is I'm gonna load up. I guess I have too much. Oh, I got too much gas in here. Who put 54 gallons in there? I gotta defuel that. Make it 30. Now when you defuel, you're losing. This is throwing gas, basically pouring gas on the runway, but it needs to be defueled because no one's gonna rent it, and they would defuel it anyway. Now I can fit my passengers. So basically, now it's the first time flying the Cessna 172, and I'm in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think I can pull up my client. Can I pull up the client here? Yeah, let me see if I can pull it. Oh, crap. All right, it's connecting the client. Hopefully it'll pull it up here. I don't think it connected. I don't think it loaded it up here. Let me just see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, cool. So this is the Microsoft Flight Simulator client. Okay, just put this here and put this over here so you guys can see it. Okay. What I have to do here is I need to set an alias. Okay. I don't know if you do it under here. I've never done it in this one before, but yeah, so I'm new to using this because I usually use X-Plane. So let's just go to, like, can I go down here? Cessna 172. I'm just trying to look here. Yeah, unfortunately, I've never done this before in MS Economy. I'm sorry, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I thought it would be similar, but I know in X-Plane, when I would try to load this flight, okay, it would tell me that it hasn't set an alias for this flight. What has to happen is FS Economy needs to have an alias so that associated with this, so it understands which plane you're flying in your simulator. Okay, and you can find the list of aliases by going here. So if you go to aircraft models. Oh yeah, exactly. I'm at Heathrow because Microsoft Flight Simulator is at Heathrow, so I'm not going to be able to show this, unfortunately, unless I get out of here and go back to. That's why it doesn't make sense. Thank you. Let me just kill this. So I'll try to explain it. So let's say I search Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Request alias. What this does is it lists all the aliases that I can use. I usually use one that's very similar to the name of the plane. So Cessna 172 SP Skyhawk would be fine. You just pick one of these, okay? And when you load up your client, it's going to ask you to type in that alias. So what all you do is you go here and you type in this alias, okay? Cessna 172 SP Skyhawk, okay? And then once you set that alias, FS Economy knows that you're flying a Skyhawk, okay? And now FS Economy will be connected to the plane that's in your sim. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that answer your question, Michael? Hopefully that answers your question. So as I was saying, get into the community. You got tons of stuff here. If you've got questions, you can ask it here. If you want to join my Discord, let me just give you that link to join the Discord. Hold on a second here. Where the hell is it? Give me 1 second. Sorry. Yes, just remember, aliases are the way you connect to the sim. So this is my Discord. Join the Discord, and if you've got questions about FS Economy, post them in there, okay? And there's a ton of people that are flying in FS Economy, and they can answer your questions. But you can also go to here and general discussion, okay? Talking about FSE. You know, there's a lot of topics and areas in here that you can find out about. If you want to buy an FBO, you can look at Fbo Sales, and I kind of monitor this. If you're building a network, okay, let's say you were building a network in the Philippines. Well, he's got a network with 8 FPO lots. Let's just take a look at this one. It's for sale. I don't know if I would necessarily buy this. I mean, you can make a decent network out of a 2-lot group like this, but you generally want to have a 3-lotter in there because it just gives you a better hub. Because a 3-lotter allows you to have more assignments, right? Yeah, so get involved with the community. There's a lot of information here. You can pick up sales of aircraft, sales of FBOs. Let's say that you owned a Challenger 300 jet and you want to, or you owned a, let's say you want to do some ferry work. So ferrying is like when when an owner of a plane wants a plane to come home. Like here's an example. This person here owns a C-152, okay, that needs to come home to CYRV in Canada. So, 1,017 miles. Let's just take a look at that opportunity. Ferrying is a good way to make some money, okay? So here we go. It's in California, in Ontario, California. It's got a bonus, okay? It's you can rent it free, okay? And this guy here sent him a quote, okay? And this guy, now he accepted the quote, okay? So they negotiated a ferry rate, to fly this 172 1,000 miles, okay? I've done a few ferries here and there. It's a fun thing to do. What you can do is, if you're smart about it, like what I would do if I was going to ferry, I would plan my route, use Flight Sim Planner to plan my route, and pick up jobs along the way, because in a 152 you're going to have to stop for gas, right? So you could pick up jobs along the way, assignments along the way, and all that money that you're in assignments, you can only fit 3 people in there, but still, it's going to pay for the gas. It's going to pay a lot and add money to your to your total ferry profit, right? So ferrying is a cool thing. Let's just check out another one. Give me 1 second here. Guys, any questions, feel free to put them in chat. Don't mind answering questions. Let's see. Oh, King Air. Here's an interesting one. King Air 350 out of an MFS missing airport. That's a good subject because here's the thing about FS economy. One thing that most people find out the hard way, okay? Usually pretty quick. Not every airport in FS economy is going to link up with Flight Simulator, X-Plane, and all the other simulators. Generally, I'm talking about the newer versions of simulators. Generally, the newer simulators are going to be pretty synced up with NavGraph as far as which airports are active, which are closed, waypoints, all that stuff. FS economy doesn't keep up with that, okay? FS economy has airports in it that are inactive, and it also is missing airports that have come active over the last 15 years, okay? The reason why is because FS economy supports, I believe it's back to Flight Simulator 9. I can't remember which release, but it's a 15-year-old release. So they basically want to support all the airports in the older releases of Flight Simulator, okay? Do I agree with that philosophy? I don't, okay? But I also know that these guys are doing it for free. They do the development for free. They don't get paid to do this. It's a major piece of work to keep up with the comings and goings. Maybe it could be automated using NavGraph. I don't know. But be that as it may, you're going to find some synchronization issues between the airports in your simulator and the airports in FSE. So, but there's a way around that. Okay, you can see here. I need a ferry pilot. Not flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator 20. I don't know why it says that. His King Air is stuck in an airport that's missing. Okay, gotcha. And it's missing. Okay, in MFS 2020, it's in Greenland. Desired location is Iceland. Okay, looking for a price. Now I don't know how this works in MFS. I'm going to figure that out. Okay, but I know in X-Plane the way you do this is the way I do it. Is I would actually land. I would bring a plane or find. How do you do this? I haven't done it in a long time. There's a way to do it in any event, but I can't remember how to do it. There's probably a video on how to do it. Sorry about that. I just had a brain seize on this. But there's a way in X-Plane to be able to get in a plane that is stuck in an airport that doesn't exist. But it's not easy. You'll have to research how to do it. I apologize for not being able to explain it. That's terrible. Sorry. So let's go on to the next one. Here's a 208 that needs to be ferried. All right, this guy already took care of it. So anyway, ferrying is a way to make money. There is a way to get into planes that aren't in valid airports. Can't remember exactly how to do it, but you can look into that, research it. I'm sure you can figure that out. All right, a couple of questions. Does damaging a plane in the game damage it in FSE? No, I don't believe so. No, it doesn't. So if you crash the plane, it doesn't crash it in FSE. But FSE has normal maintenance. So from time to time, in random fashion, a plane that you own will require some maintenance. Okay, let's take a look at the planes here. So Let's look at this guy here. All right. So time to time, it's going to require some maintenance. For example, in July, on this plane, it required a maintenance that cost $2,148. And I can look at the report of that, and it was just basically a repair, some sort of repair. It doesn't say specifics. From time to time, these repairs will come up, okay? Every plane, though, requires service every 100 hours. So like right now, this plane has 29 hours since its last 100 hours. So when it gets to 98, 95, I think, you'll start to see a red message whenever you rent this plane that says it needs to be serviced. So you've got to basically do maintenance on it to get it to reset the hour to 0, and then you have got another 100 hours before the next maintenance. Can you speed up time on long flights and flying a mission? Yes, you can. In X-plane, the command to do that is Alt-T for time compression. You can do it up to 16 times. I was told today, I haven't tested this yet, that in Microsoft Flight Simulator, this is the command for, I just put it in chat, this is the command for time compression. I haven't tested it yet, but I believe this is what, I forget who said this, but I believe that's the time compression. And I don't know if it works with FSC or not. We'll have to see. Yeah, exactly. A lot of them are closed down. And actually, there's a couple of airports, like I know for a fact there's airports in the Pennsylvania area that are newer airports that are not in FSC. And you can lobby them to create the airport, but they've got a big backlog. And you know, these are volunteers. You always gotta remember that. Like when you first get involved with FSC, it's gonna be a little frustrating because you're gonna want this feature. You're not paying for it, it's free, okay? You gotta remember that. It's free. Keep telling yourself, it's free. Okay? Play the system within the system. Alright? One tip, look at equipment in your rentals. Oh, that's a really good tip. Alright, so for example, when you're renting a plane, let's look at that's a good tip. We'll go over that. So when you're renting a plane, you want to make sure, let's say you want to rent a plane. Hopefully I'll find an example here. You want to rent the C-172 and you need GPS. You need a G1000 in it, okay? Well, you got to make sure it's got a G1000. Here's a bunch of Skyhawks. Okay? Here's one for rent. This is the equipment. This column here, equipment. This one has a GPS. So I can rent that plane and use a G1000. If I rent this plane, which I can't anyway because it needs to be fixed. By the way, if you see this little tool thing here, if it doesn't have a rent thing here, that means the owner has to fix it before it'll be rented. If you see the tool thing here and it does have a rent thing, then you can rent it and fix it. Like if I go here, rent. Oh, it's already selected. Somebody rented it already. Anyway, so you could rent it and fix it yourself, okay? But for example, it's a really good point. I want a G1000, okay? So I have to make sure I rent a plane that's got GPS as equipment. Pretty much every plane has IFR and autopilot. Well, actually, look, this one doesn't have autopilot, the Bell 206. That's a helicopter, I think. So you want the three types of equipment are IFR, AP, autopilot, and GPS. Okay? Are there certain assist settings that aren't allowed to use while flying a mission? Oh, are there certain assist methods? Oh, you mean like in the simulator? No. FSC doesn't really, I don't believe FSC cares about any of that stuff. Doesn't care about like flight dynamics or if you're flying in simple mode versus real world mode. It doesn't care about any of that. The only link to it is like fuel consumption, weight, passengers, trying to think what else, and equipment, right? There's only certain like physical characteristics about the plane, not the actual flight dynamics or that kind of thing. So no, you don't have to worry about that. All right, so that was a really good point there, Take 6. You want to make sure that if you want a G1000 that's got GPS, or a 5530 or whatever that's got GPS. All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that ferrying, because there's money in that. Like if you can figure out how to ferry a plane that's in an invalid airport, slewing might be disabled. Oh yeah, maybe slewing's disabled. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. Check the manual. When in doubt, check the manual. This is a very detailed manual. Okay. I think actually in here you could figure out how to ferry missing or changed airports. Here we go. Look. Airport exists in your simulator but not in FSC. Okay. Airport exists in FSC but not in your simulator. Many airports exist in your simulator, so it's okay. You can land there anyway. You just need to know the... Okay, there you go. So what you do is, that's how you do it. So basically, you got to know the lat longitude of that airport. Okay. And what you can do is, I know in X-plane, you can place a plane at a lat longitude, okay? I'm not sure in Flight Simulator if you can do that. But another trick would be to find an airport that's near the place you want to be, put your plane there, and actually, I've done this where I've rolled the plane across the ground to where I want the actual plane is in FSC. FSC is all based on lat long. Okay, so you figure out where that is, and there's maps in FSC. I'm pretty sure. So let's say let's go to airport. This is what I'm saying. The manual has everything. Man, this is really slow. There's a lat long right there. Always going to have the lat long. Okay, so you can use that, be creative, and you can figure out a way to get to a plane. Okay, I would say before you take on a ferry job of a plane that's in a non-existing airport, test it out to make sure you can get in that plane, right? So rent a plane near, or if you got a plane near, try to figure out if you can get in it, right, before you do it. Any other questions, guys? So just so you guys know, I've actually already written, I'll show you. I've already written a script for a video called 10 FS Economy Tips for Building Your Net Worth. Okay? I just haven't had a chance to record it yet, and it goes over these are all the things we've been talking about. Fly profitable aircraft. Pick airports with lots of multi-passenger assignments. Join a group. Use a flight planner. Avoid booking fees and distance bonus. Use time acceleration. FB ownership can be a grind. Read the operations manual. Join a community. And, oh, this is the last thing. The really most important thing. Okay? Enjoy playing the game. Okay? It's a fun game. It's a game. It's like I think of it as like Monopoly. It's a fun game. Yeah, it gives you a reason to fly. Okay? You think about it. Flying a flight simulator, just going to point A to point B, even though the scenery is amazing in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I gotta stop. We're just gonna call it Flight Simulator. I'm gonna stop saying the Microsoft, because we're giving Microsoft free publicity every time we say the name of the goddamn simulator. So we're gonna call it FS, or Flight Simulator. That's what I'm calling it from now on, Flight Simulator. Anyway, even though it's really, really cool scenery, eventually you're gonna get over. You might get over that. Okay. And when it comes down to it, having something to do in your plane makes it enjoyable, right? Flying from point A to point B makes it enjoyable. FS Economy is the most fun when you're having fun doing it. Be part of a group. Join our VR Aviation group. Okay, be part of the group. Be part of a group, and you'll meet people. You can do what I really like to do, like in our group in VR Aviation, is an FS and Microsoft in Flight Simulator. I'm not going to say that M word anymore. Flight Simulator. Have a group flight for our group where we all start at one of our airports, Cape May or whatever, and we fly up into the mountains of Pennsylvania or something. We all pick up a couple of jobs, and we fly. That'd be kind of cool to do. Or maybe pick a airport that's got a lot of jobs. But by joining a group, you'll get involved with FSE more. You know, so it's really important to have fun with it. Yes, Flight Simulator definitely needs VR. Okay. It's coming in the fall, supposedly. It's going to be supported on HP Reverb G2, which I actually have one on order. I'm on pre-order. But you're going to need a pretty boosty computer to be able to do that. But I will tell you, yes, I totally agree with you. In fact, at the beginning, I had said I'm not going to buy it unless there is VR, but I decided to buy it anyway. But anyway, I agree with you. But this is about FS Economy. So enjoy the game. It's a cool game. It's a fun game. Again, it gives you that, you know, camaraderie of a group, you know. Gabrielle, or maybe it's Gabrielle. Gabrielle, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Do you have any questions about FS Economy? I'd be happy to answer them for you. I have until noon, guys, so I hope this was helpful. I know that when I first started out, I had a lot of questions, and there were some people that helped me, but I really started learning when I started my own group, because I had VR. I was doing streaming, and VR aviation was, you know, flight simming was just starting to pop. And I was able to start a group that was pretty active, very active, and it kind of fell off a little bit. But being with that group, a lot of people were a part of it that knew FSE very well, and it helped me learn. Okay, trying to start to download the game, and when I open it, I can't get past press start. Can't get press start to do, yeah. Are you in the game? Yeah, there you go, Take Six. Make sure that window is selected. Okay, make sure your flight sim window is selected. You just sent a request to join. Okay, I'm going to approve you right now, dude. Let's go to FS Economy. Oh, that's not what I want. Duh. Hold on. Go to here, groups, members, VR Aviation. Man, this thing is slow. Oh, we got Take Six. All right, you're accepted. Nice. And Myco73, that must be you, Mike. So there we go. Boom. All right, I'll send you guys a little message with some information about the group in a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Go back to here. So what's a cheap yoke or joystick you recommend? And you mean real cheap? Here's what I would do. I would buy a CH Products Flight Sim yoke on eBay used. That's what I would do. For a yoke. Probably get it for like $50 or something like that. Let's see. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can go over here. Let's go to. Let's just. FBO lotteries. This is something we can go over. In fact, I want to add that to my. Give me a second here. FBO lotteries. Okay, every month, I think it's every month, thereabouts, they list FBOs, okay, that have been marked for tear down sometimes within the next week. And what that basically means is that people have abandoned them. They haven't paid the supplies. They bought an FBO and they stopped playing the game, and basically they've abandoned them. Okay. So these FBOs all come up for auction. There's a lot of them. Holy crap! Look at that. Usually there's not this many. Okay. What I like to do is sort them by name. Okay. The way it works is, well, let's look at the manual. Okay. FBOs, lottery. Okay. Lottery rules. They're weekly. Lotteries will be held weekly each Friday night. Okay. Lotteries remain open for 1 week. Okay. Any FBO with, let's see, winner will be selected for each FBO at the time the FBO is transferred. Okay. Ticket price. Participants, any SE player, okay, has been a member for 30 days, a minimum of 10 flights may purchase. Okay. Important. FBO lottery tickets are priced according to the size of the FBO. Okay. So if it's an airstrip, which is a single lot, it's $50 for the ticket, $100. Well, actually, these are your prices. Figure it out. Okay. These ticket prices, this is like buying a lottery ticket. You don't get it back. Okay. Okay. And this basically gets you the FBO. Okay. Now, you may have to supply it. Okay. So what happens is if you go to here, okay, and let's say I wanted to, you can see these are all $200,000 FBOs to buy. You're buying a ticket for 200 grand. If so, like let's say for example here, this lady really wanted this one, and someone else has purchased the ticket. This tells you there's other people in the lottery. Okay. It means you could lose 200 grand if this person, if you didn't win, if you don't win this, your 200 grand's gone. So just remember that. You're buying a lottery ticket. But you may find one here, like this one's in California, or Michigan, sorry, let me just see. Are there any L's in here? No. I always look in here to see if there's some N's. N51. Ooh. Anyway, oh, sorry. Let me go back to that lotteries. So basically, what you do is look for tickets that haven't been purchased. Okay, because generally, if someone purchased a ticket already, the person's not gonna, they're not gonna want it. Okay, or I should say, they're gonna shy away from it. Okay, so but this is a good way to pick up a nice FBO for like $200,000. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you don't have to pay anything else. Let's just look here. Where's the thing here? Lottery. So you ticket price. Yeah, there's no guarantee you'll have an attached passenger terminal. Okay, so there's no guarantees to these. If you're going to get into lotteries, make sure you read these rules very, very, very detailed and understand. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is that's lotteries. Any other questions, guys? I hope this was helpful. I hope it was helpful. Any other questions, guys? Anybody? Oh, so you tried, and the background just goes black, but there are still letters. So let me ask you a question. Did you finish installing the game? Did you already download and install the game, Gabriel? Great. I'm glad it was helpful. I hope this helped you guys. And guys, thanks for joining the VR Aviation group. Please, if you want to be part of a great group, check it out. It's a lot of fun. But Gabriel, let me know if you've already installed the software. All right, Mouse, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Anybody else have any questions before I go here? I appreciate you guys stopping by. Let's just check out this airport. This airport is awesome. This is the drone camera, and we're right above Heathrow Airport here. Right above the I don't know why this isn't working now. Let me just go to camera. Oh, look at this. My screen is hung. That's not good. Well, it looks like Microsoft, excuse me. It looks like Flight Simulator failed. Stefan, hey, thanks for joining. You're not too late to watch it, the replay. If you have any specific questions about FSC, I just crashed FSC, Flight Simulator. Oh, there it goes. Let me get this loaded up again. Let's get this loaded up again. Yes, it does. FSC does work with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have on my Discord, if you go check out my Discord, where the hell is it? Hold on one second. I'm pretty sure I posted it here. There's complete instructions on how to install it. Let me just find it. All right, there's simple instructions. Where can I post this so you guys can see it? Well, join my Discord, okay? Bambino Tech. Join the Discord, okay? And let me put the link in the chat for the Discord. Give me a second here. I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of this music. Give me 1 second, guys, and I will show you exactly how to get the best procedure for. Okay, so here we go. Go to all right, so Stefan, join my Discord. Here's the link. Okay. And in my Discord, there's a channel called, hold on, VR Aviation Lobby. Okay. VR Aviation Lobby. And in there, if you scroll up a little bit, actually, I'm going to pin it because it's important. Okay. Okay, I just pinned it, so you'll see it when you get in there. It's the VR, it's Flight Simulator 2020 FS Economy install, and it's like 6 steps. It worked 100% perfectly. Okay, if you're interested in setting that up. Okay, so check that out, guys. It's on my Discord, VR Aviation. Let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? I could just do this. Let me go to. Well, just follow the Discord and look for VR Aviation Lobby. Okay, and in there you'll find it. All right. I didn't have any issues with SimConnect at all. Worked absolutely perfectly. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, absolutely. You can share those instructions, no problem. Like I said, I found those posted on Facebook. I tried because I was like struggling with it a little bit. I followed those, and it was like no problem whatsoever. Worked perfectly. So, guys, please consider joining the VR Aviation group. We'd be happy to have you. If you have any questions, there's a great community on my Discord to to help you out there. And if there aren't any more questions, I should say, I'm going to sign off here. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join me today. Hopefully this was helpful. As I said, I'm going to be coming out with a video kind of consolidating this down. And I leave you with have fun with FS Economy. Okay. Have fun with FS Economy. Fly profitable planes and have fun with FS Economy. Okay. And if you have any specific questions, just hit me up on Discord. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay. And we'll go from there, guys. Thanks for those who subscribed. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. If you're watching right now, please hit subscribe. Hit the like button. And if you consider joining the channel, $1.99 a month, not that expensive. Get you emojis. and I'm actually working on a member area for downloading stuff like screenshots and scripts and other stuff like that that are only available to only members and might be a different level membership, but working on putting that together to help people along as well. So anyway, guys, if there aren't any more questions, you're welcome for the stream, Take 6. And guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and take care. See ya.